let me talk about my Mr. Mentally Tough, and that is no other than Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, in my opinion, is going to be a great pickup by whoever picks him up. And I get it. I get it. Everybody has something to say about him. Everybody is trying to put him in a little box. Everybody's trying to say he's too much of this, he's too much of that, he's too much of this, he's too much of that. I don't care about any of that. I care about his talent. I care about his ceiling and how much he can improve. And I also like Shedeur Sanders' temperament. I think his temperament is undervalued, and I think his on-the-field temperament, in-game temperament, and the way he carries himself on a football field, I think is legendary. And I think Shedeur Sanders is my Mr. Mentally Tough, because the one thing about Shedeur is I don't count him out. The reason why I think Colorado was able to be so successful and able to get better year after year has been because of Shedeur Sanders. Now, you can say because it's Travis Hunter, you can say this, you can say that, you can say whatever. However, we can't knock the quarterback when his team loses, but not give him credit when his team wins. We all know what Shedeur dealt with at Colorado because everybody loves to hate watch Colorado. If you're a fan, you watched him. If you're not a fan, you watched him. I love that. I love what he brings to the table. I don't think he's going to be intimidated by the NFL. I don't think he really cares where he goes in the NFL because I think he wants to prove himself. And we all know I love a prove yourself story. I love an athlete who was hungry. I love an athlete who wants to prove everybody wrong. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get into this video and share a little bit more about Shedeur Sanders and the things that I value and the reason why he is my mentally tough. There's going to be a lot of spotlight on him. There's going to be a lot of people paying more attention to what is going on because of Shedeur Sanders. I always say I don't bet against the guy who has something to prove. I like it. I actually love it for him. The other thing about Shedeur that I loved watching him throughout the years, no matter how much he pissed me off, no matter how much he annoyed me, I knew he was going to keep fighting. I knew that in his gut, he thinks he is the best. And when you think you are the best, you think you can beat anybody. Nothing scares you. Nothing's going to hold you back. And I need that type of player on my team. Quite frankly, we all need that kind of person in their life. So without further ado, let me talk about all the things Shedeur Sanders because I like him. I think he's going to be good for the NFL, and I'm super excited to see where he goes in this draft. The 5 things I'm going to be paying attention to when it comes to Shedeur Sanders is going to be like everybody else. I'm going to be paying attention to first the way that he did at the combine. I'm totally aware he didn't throw at the combine, but I still have thoughts about the combine. I'm also going to look at his pro day, what he did at pro day. My number 2 is pro day. The third thing I'm going to be looking at is a competition. Who did he play against? How did he fare against the competition? The fourth thing I'm going to look at is team need and team stats. What does it look like? What am I thinking? Who do I think needs him? And all those things. And then the fifth and final thing, which we all by now know is my favorite, is going to be my eye test. I'm going to get to the other side of this video and I'm going to show Shedeur Sanders some love because he is my mentally tough. And we all know in life, we always need to check on our strong friends. We always need to check on the friends and think about the people and talk about the people that are always tough. So Shedeur is about to get love in this video. And if you don't want to hear him getting love, that is not my problem. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and don't forget to turn on those notification bells so you don't miss any videos when I release. Also, if you want to, don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section below. We all know that he did not throw at the combine. We all know everybody wanted to make a big deal about it. I got it. It is what it is at this point. However, we did get some of his numbers and see how tall he was and things like that. So he measured in at 6'1.5". Again, all of this is with no shoes on, so just something to remember. 212 pounds. 9-inch hands, whatever. Like nothing, again, nothing about Shedeur's measurables surprised me. Nothing he did there surprised me. I love that he was there to cheer on his teammates. I love that he was as involved as he could have been in the process without actually competing in the process. I also liked seeing him interact with other quarterbacks. They were following him around. They were trying to get a moment from him. They were trying to do all of these things to drum up something, and it just didn't happen. And so that was really funny to me. They interviewed him. So overall, I personally think Shedeur Sanders had a really good combine. Obviously, without throwing, that's one thing, but his presence was felt. People knew he was there. He was interactive. He was happy. He was doing all the things he was supposed to do. He looked great. He made people pissed off, which is exactly what he's supposed to do. So shout out to Shedeur Sanders for doing what he was supposed to do. There was nothing that Shedeur Sanders was going to do during Pro Day that was going to change my mind, and nothing changed my mind. I didn't have to worry about if anybody's going to come and sack him, so that was great. I also didn't have to worry about if he was going to hang on to the ball too long, listen to people talk about that for days on end, so that was fantastic. The other thing is I just like to see him on the football field. I like to see him work. I like to see him do the things that he does. He looks like he's in control. He looks like he gets things going, and he looks like his teammates respect him. That's what you want from a quarterback, but he just is who he is. His Pro Day wasn't going to change anything for me. Glad it's over with. I'm just going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. The one thing that people are going to knock Shedeur Sanders on is going to be the competition that he played against. No matter how you look at it, no matter how you try to spin it, the truth of the matter is the competition in the Big 12 is not like the competition in the Big 10, and is not like the competition in the SEC. That's not Shedeur's fault. I'm just calling it out because the competition matters here. The other thing that I think is important here is looking at his numbers as he went up and playing different types of football, right? So he started at an HBCU, and then he went to Colorado. And in my mind, his production only got better, and the better athletes he got around him, the better he got. So I get that everybody is going to talk about the competition level. However, Shedeur Sanders was better than every other quarterback in the Big 12, and it wasn't even close. And if that is the case, that makes the point that he was the best. And if you want to call it the worst conference or one of the worst conferences, he was at least the best in those conferences. And what makes this all better is we all know there were some issues as far as having a balanced offense and things like that. A lot of things that you can say about Shedeur Sanders, and I know his competition is going to be a knock. It is what it is at this point. There's nothing he can do. All we can do is move on, but I just wanted to call it out because the competition does matter here, because he did play in the Big 12, and I need to be honest with myself. So I'm going to call that out here. And so when I look at those stats from the 2024 season, you will see he had 4,100 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 75.5. His stats are not too shabby. Some people would tell you that he should have been asked to go to the Heisman ceremony. Again, this year they only did 4, which I found that a little weird, but anyways, we'll leave that where it's at. The last thing I want to do here is look at Shedeur Sanders' total stats over his whole college career. If you look at this, obviously his first 2 years, he was at Jackson State. And then in 2022, 2023, 2024, he was at Colorado, and you can see his numbers there. You can see his percentages. You can see how much better he got year over year. You can see what it looks like. You can see all the things. We all know by now the teams that need a quarterback. We all know by now the teams that might get Shedeur. They're thinking about getting Shedeur. We all know the things, right? And so Shedeur is going to be what Shedeur is going to be. I will not stop saying that in my perfect world, Shedeur goes somewhere that has a great offense, has a great fan base, and all of those things. My Steelers being one of those teams. How great would it be if Shedeur Sanders went to Pittsburgh? That would be interesting for me. And, whatever. I know he is not a perfect quarterback. I also know that there is not a single perfect quarterback in the NFL, and there's not a single perfect quarterback in this draft. One thing about Shedeur Sanders is I don't have to worry about if he's going to bring himself and be ready to go. I know he's going to be confident. I know he's going to bring his skill set. I know he's going to bring that desire to prove everybody wrong, and I need that. I want him to bring that to my team. I want him to bring that to my organization, and I want my guys to feed off of him, because believe it or not, winners gravitate towards attitudes like Shedeur Sanders. Winners gravitate towards every single thing Shedeur Sanders brings to the table, and that's what makes him a winner. And that's why I think wherever he goes, he is going to have people around him that are going to want to be better and that are going to want to take on that personality of that confidence and that winning mentality. And that is what you want for an NFL franchise. We all know the negatives, right? He holds onto the ball too long, his arm strength, all the thing. We all know the negatives. I feel like, though, he can lead a football team. I feel like he's a leader. I feel like he has the confidence. I feel like he has the determination. I feel like he has the want to. And dare I say, let's be honest, everybody is going to second guess him. Everybody is going to think that he can't do it. Everything is whatever. And if that doesn't fuel him, I don't know what to tell you. No matter where he goes, it's going to be 50-50. You're going to have 50% of the fan base that absolutely loves that he's on their team. You're going to have 50% of that fan base that doesn't like that he's on their team. And here comes the wind and here comes the rain. So I'm going to end this video. But Shedeur Sanders, day one, wherever he goes, I think he's going to be a star. I would not be upset if my Pittsburgh Steelers take Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if he's going to fall to 21. I don't know if they're going to trade up to get him, but I wanted to put it into the atmosphere just in case it works in my favor. I am Team Shedeur Sanders. Wherever he goes, I'm going to be following along with him, just like you're going to be following along to see what happens and if he pans out and to see what he looks like. But at the very least, I'm excited that he's in this situation, and I am super thankful for every single thing that he has brought to Colorado, and I cannot wait to see him play in the NFL.